an interesting story that I was going to cover last week, and then we kind of had some other things, but it's an Idaho Falls mayoral candidate. His name is Jeff Aldridge, and he's publicly addressing what are wild rumors following a controversial moment at a recent mayoral forum. We're going to watch a little news story on this. But the reason this is so interesting to me is people ask, what's it like to be a non-LDS person in a predominantly LDS area running for public office? I think we've all noticed, how the scales are weighed when it comes to how you vote and, who's LDS and who's not. And do you have a snowball's chance in hell of winning if you are not LDS? So this is a candidates forum where they gathered questions from the community, and a moderator, put out the questions, and each candidate had to answer. But the only non-LDS candidate got kind of an interesting question. Is that the right one, Bill? Maybe that's not. It was Channel 8 News. Maybe I put the wrong. That's really weird. Maybe I copied the wrong link on that. Okay. If I did copy the wrong link, I'll just tell you guys what happened, unless you want to look it up really quick. Bill.
I remember seeing it.
Yeah, I remember seeing it too.
It takes me.
That's really strange. Okay. So basically, see, there it is. So maybe you can look it up while I'm talking. Just look up Channel 8 News, Idaho mayoral candidate. So basically
I remember
what happened,
it as being a question from the audience, and it was of a distinct.
Well, it was a moderator. Yeah, it was a moderator who chose the question out of 200 questions.
Are you kidding? So the moderator is also responsible for this?
Yes, because he's the one that chose it out of 200 possible questions. And the question that he asked in the panel to the person who was not LDS, who was running for the mayor of Idaho Falls, was, do you think Mormons are Christian, or LDS are Christian? The
answer is yes, by the way. I don't care what you believe. If you're running for mayor of Idaho Falls, the answer to that question is absolutely.
Exactly. And the other part of the question was, I hear that Jeff has removed his religious affiliation from his candidate website, and so he kind of addressed that. He's kind of like, no, I am a Christian. And then the moderator goes, well, do you think that the LDS are Christian? And he goes something like, gosh, I wish I had it, because now I can't remember. Maybe I can look it up.
He didn't answer the question.
He basically didn't answer it very, he just kind of said, I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah, I wish Bill could find it. I would take a second to look it up here. I'm sorry that
I'm having a blue ribbon committee look into that question.
Yeah, but what's interesting about this then is, if we go back to the slides, it gave the other candidates a chance to weigh in and to say, yeah, Bill, can you show this? I am a Christian. Or sometimes here, I'll just read it what it says. Let's see. One of them says, these are the other candidates weighing in on this big firestorm around the answer or non-answer to the question. Are you, do you think that LDS are Christian? It says running for public office means accepting that people will ask personal questions about faith, values, politics, and convictions. That's part of the public right to understand who their leaders are. Questions like these can reveal character, right? I mean, he's slamming the guy, or distract from the real issue. The other candidate comes out and says, I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So basically the point is, the other candidates were then able to freely express their faith and to question, this gentleman's faith. He later on, to clarify, said, only God can say who's Christian. I can't say if an entire religion is Christian or not.
You just said he was Christian.
Statement. He said he was, I know. So anyway, he kind of, but he was put in that position. And I guess my question to you guys is, what do you think about that? It's difficult to run for office. Yeah. Go ahead, RFM.
Because only God can make a Mormon. Only God can make a Christian. Poems are made by fools like me.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping we get that, because that was just astonishing to see it. I know it's in Idaho Falls, which I understand is in Idaho.
Hold on. I made a short of it.
This was crazy that in the context of a discussion, a debate among candidates for mayor there, are they having their
I got it.
Their election day tomorrow? I bet they are.
Okay. I'm going to share it to you on Messenger, Bill, because I made a short of it. This will just be off of Mormonish. Here it is in Messenger. Although the news story I was looking for, I know, I don't know what happened there. All I can say is
Yeah,
I've had computer.
the link keeps taking me to some Salt Lake story.
I just
No.
messaged you a Mormonish short of the actual interchange
on Facebook?
on Facebook Messenger.
Just
And
now-
then the channel, it's covered on multiple news channels. So if a Google search didn't bring it up, just play what I have, and that'll just show you exactly what happened. There you go.
Let me take
Is this
that.
a guy?
Yeah, I think so. So here's.
Yeah.
I heard Jeff Aldridge removed his religion.
Yeah, that's it.
Can you hear it?
I can't hear it anymore. I
I
could.
can't hear
The
it.
website, but I am Christian,
Yeah, let me start it over.
and I'll leave it up to.
I heard Jeff Aldridge removed his religious affiliation from his website and does not believe Latter-day Saints are Christians. Is this true?
I never had my faith on my website, but I am Christian, and I'll leave it up to Latter-day Saints. If they believe they're Christian, then they're Christian.
Do you believe they are?
I don't know.
Okay. I heard Jeff.
And that's
And
it. Yep.
Absolutely. That's the
The
sound
other
of a
candidates
campaign
got
going down
different
the
kinds of
toilet in
questions.
Idaho Falls.
Exactly. Anyway, so he's addressing that now after the fact because he got a lot, of backlash and also support from people saying, yeah, you shouldn't have had to answer that question,
That's
especially
absolutely
in
true.
Idaho.
You should
Yeah.
not have had to answer that question.
Exactly. And if you go to the slides, I did include in RFM, you can probably speak to this because I have been here in Washington, D.C. Here's some pictures of me visiting some different sites, Monticello, Mount Vernon, all this amazing sites in the Washington Monument. You can probably speak to this RFM Article 6. Why don't you tell us what that is and what that means?
I'm guessing it's an article. It's probably in the Constitution, United States, right?
Yeah,
No
it's right there
religious
highlighted.
test clause. And Article 6 states, no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. I expect that's been modified and extended probably through the 14th Amendment to the states and the cities as well.
Yeah. Although we all know how that rolls. In fact, it's kind of opposite. I have, believe it or not, a lot of people in the cities that I deal with that are temple builders that are very gun shy of LDS people on their different committees because they feel like it's kind of an inside man scenario. Sometimes
Yes.
they will send me names of people that are, running or applying and saying, can you tell me if this person is LDS? They're so concerned, right, about sabotage from the inside.
Being a Mormon should be a disqualifier if you're applying to be on a city council. At this point, with a basis other than religious affiliation, no, it's because of what other people in that position have done over and over again to help represent, instead of the interests of the city, representing the interests of the LDS Church, which seems to be more and more a problem that politicians, local and federal, have.
Yep. Amen.
Did you want me to read the top part of this? I'm sorry, Rebecca.
You don't have to. No, we're just kind of going through it. No, just to know that supposedly anyone of any religion can run for anything without being called on it, or someone who has no religion, right? But we all know how that goes too. So.
I love these pictures. Is that Monticello?
Yeah, it is.
I've never been, but I've seen it on the nickel.
Yeah, no, I'm a little concerned because I had Mount Vernon and Monticello on my bucket list. I'm like going through these things so quickly. I feel like I might drop dead any minute now. Smiling, but yeah, my bucket list is going like that. So it's been pretty amazing.
It's a lot easier, isn't it, when all those states are so close together?
I was shocked. Yeah, I'm in Virginia. Oh my gosh, I'm over here. I'm there. And I will say everything's closed down. So when I say not Monticello and not Mount Vernon, but some of the other sites in DC, so I was able to whirlwind drive past the facades of buildings. So it looks like I saw a loss, but I didn't get to go in.